Hey there, welcome back to Tennille Talks. Y'all, so to begin this reading, I'm hearing that when people look at you or they experience your energy, they feel the essence of Oshun. So they see beauty, femininity, abundance, nurturing. But when they go to war with you, when they choose war with you, they experience the power of Shango. So looking like Oshun, but battling like Shango. This reading is from the perspective of your bully. Like right now, I feel like we are going to read the docket of your bully's file, or we are going to find out what is going on with your bully per spiritual court. Now, you may not have asked for this, and so if this is cycling around, maybe because there is a shift in their case that you just need to know about. So a bully is a person who habitually seeks to harm or intimidate those whom they perceive as vulnerable. Vulnerable meaning at risk of abuse, neglect. Maybe you are susceptible to physical or emotional harm. That is how you would be seen. And that's what I really mean about looking like Oshun. And so there's like a gentle or a delicate or soft energy about you that seems very non-threatening and welcoming. And so sometimes people may naturally relax, but those who don't have pure intentions, they get relaxed with whatever their plan or agenda is. They never think that they should have a guard up. It's like they misread and they kind of go too far. So anyway, we got a bully who thought that you were vulnerable, okay? Now, the only card that I have in this reading that gives me a person is Mordecai. Now, I'm using my handmade deck, which has biblical characters. I'm going to read about Mordecai real quick. So Queen Esther's cousin, who helped her in saving the Jewish people from slaughter and later became prime minister of Persia. So Queen Esther saved the Jews from slaughter. She had the help of her cousin. Now, Mordecai adopted Esther. He was like her big cousin. When I looked up, I wanted to understand the relationship between Mordecai and Esther, almost like a spiritual allegory, just to try to see, like, because I see Mordecai here and I see Esther, but I'm trying to pinpoint who this could be for us today, right? And so what I understood is that the fact that Mordecai adopted Esther, that can be interpreted as a type of Christ figure. And so while Esther, she was chosen as queen, she would represent the church, right? And so the actions of Mordecai being a Christ figure and Esther representing the church, their actions, which were guided by their faith and their obedience, it kind of demonstrates God's sovereignty and the way that God will work through individuals to fulfill his purpose and protect his people. And so God moves through people. God moves through you, and sometimes God will move through even your bully. So the Mordecai, biblically speaking, was like a cool dude. The Mordecai that we're speaking about in this reading is a Mordecai who moved against you, but nonetheless, the fulfillment of the Most High is what it is. And so we're checking in about this ending that a bully is sitting in. There was one more thing I wanted to say. All right, that'll be... Oh, so Mordecai could be, so we could be speaking about a family member. We could be speaking about somebody older, somebody that naturally would embrace you. Maybe it was a relationship that you trust, but this is somebody who is actively choosing war against you, but they may have done it in a way that was subtle. So the bullying could have been passive aggressive. It could have been verbal slander behind your back. It could have been cyber bullying, something online. And so if this is somebody who was close to you for a period of time, I don't think that their bullying was overt, okay? This is somebody who kind of hides or masks it. But nonetheless, this is the docket. All right. A cycle is over, okay? We are at the point in the case file where a major cycle is over, it is ending, and this bully is saying goodbye. Now, this is what I mean about Shango. So I had Mordecai, but then I had Shango show up 2 times, and it almost seems like this bully was after something. In another reading, I talked about a magic paintbrush, and it was based on a mythological story that I read. And this is the Ace of Wands. When the Most High puts a power, an energy, or a force in your hand, what you can create is like a masterpiece. People have recognized this about you. Your hands are blessed. Your hands are anointed. What your hands are capable of doing, others are not able. And so when you start painting or creating or whatever in life, when you engage with life and when you become fertile, it is because you have something in your spirit, a fire, a knowledge, a quickening has been deposited in you. Well, when people are watching this, sometimes they just want to get the paintbrush too. They want to be able to have this experience. And so you are a paintbrush. People feel when they pick you up, when they energetically pick you up, the way that they can paint their life, it just looks different. And so Mordecai, the bully, was after your paintbrush, your experience. The idea is like what you focus on is going to grow. Whatever you focus on is going to create wealth. And so when you are staring at your paper and painting a masterpiece, as long as you look at that paper, money is going to be generating. Whenever you look away and you become distracted, the money slows down or it dries up entirely. And so the bully's job is to distract you, to get you to look away from the canvas. Why? Because if you're not looking at the canvas, then you're not painting. If you're not painting, then the brush is not in use. When it's not in use, it's easier. It becomes more accessible for somebody else to take it. And I'm talking about energetically, for somebody else to take it and use it for their sudden wealth or their sudden gain. This is like the play of the bully, but this is the play that is actually ending. So there was a cycle, there was a period of time where your focus was scattered. As long as your focus was scattered, somebody else could be using that deposit. The fire, the knowledge, the force of wisdom that is in you is a commodity that equates to wealth. Now, let's go back to the beginning of Mordecai. The bully, okay? This is Mordecai the bully. So we're going to start about how this situation even unfolds. So it looks like somebody approaches Mordecai, and they approach them in the energy of transmutation and new beginnings. And so it's like, hey, do you want to elevate? Do you want to refine your life? Do you want to refine the energy? Do you want to refine your consciousness, right? This is like a sales call, but this is like a spiritual sales call. And so somebody approaches your bully and gives them a sales pitch. And the sales pitch tells them that they will get a new beginning. They will be able to hit a new reset, or they'll be able to hit the start button again in their life. They tell them that they can have a new job. They can have a new life. This is a clean sweep. Okay? So this is somebody saying, listen, the life that you had, I can offer you something that will transmute your old life into something that you will actually love and desire. You won't even be living a life that looks like this one. All right. So now that was the way in. In order for Mordecai, the bully, to take this offer, to hit this reset button, they would have to collaborate. So I have the energy of the Three of Cups, meaning you got to work in a partnership. Maybe it was 3 people, right? But nonetheless, you're going to be working with others. This is not a job that you have to worry about doing alone. You always have support, right? This is your time to shine. And so we're really all coming together because we want to see you win. We want to see you do it now. We want to see you go after what's next. We want to see you go after what you want, right? And so now here you have the team that rallies behind Mordecai, the bully, who's about to take an offer because they want to see their life elevate. I have a card that says Ancient Teachings Illuminate the Mind. Now that card is coming out with another card that says Network or Group. And so this would be a network or a group where they have used ancient teachings to illuminate their mind. And so this is a part of their sales pitch, right? If you work with me, you push a button, I transmute your entire life. The collaboration is not a one-man thing. Like you got a team, okay? And all of us are ready to promote you. We just want to sit back and watch you and help you in any way we can. We are a group. We are a network. We are a team. We have ancient knowledge. The knowledge that we have has taught us something. And so this is like a group who has God's secrets. They have the esoteric secrets about how the universe, they have codes to unlock shit. And so they use it secretly, right? And then they campaign specific people. But the people that they campaign have to be in key positions. Y'all, Mordecai wasn't shit unless Mordecai was Esther's cousin. And so you are Queen Esther. And this is what I mean about going against the energy that appears to be Oshun, but really wars like Shango. And so Esther was beautiful, a beautiful queen, and stopped an entire slaughter. Right? Genocide. Had the ability to do that in all her beauty. And so the way God will move through you, people will misinterpret the way you look, the way you sound, where you're coming from. They will absolutely miss the mission behind your spirit. Right? Like your presence represents something in existence. Sometimes people don't go that far. They just saw the paintbrush. They saw the power. They saw the energy, the knowledge, the charisma, the passion, and they wanted it. Anyway, this group promises the bully Mordecai that they'll be able to get it. Push a button, you'll change your life, you'll get, the shit we got. Here's the next thing. This new beginning is what brings you an opportunity. So it's going to bring you some type of change that you can be grateful for. So when I got to this point, this is the reason. This is why we are supposed to forever live in gratitude. When you are not grateful, somebody else will be able to tempt you with something that you can finally feel grateful for. And so I started to feel that this person, Mordecai the bully, this person is somebody that is not grateful unless something happens that they think, like they reserve their gratitude for the good moment. They don't know how to live in it without something happening to deposit that feeling. Right? And so when you don't live in gratitude, you are more likely to be tempted, right? Because you have starved yourself of an experience. You refuse to find the good in the days, the minutes, the moments, and the hours. Right? And so when you refuse to find the good, it is more likely that somebody will be able to tell you what's good, but it ain't good. This isn't good. What I'm reading isn't good. But somebody felt like, finally, gratitude. This is the moment I've been waiting for. This is the opportunity I've been wanting. This was a new life. This was a change. This was what somebody, here's the thing. You will mistake an offer from the devil as a blessing from God. Right? Like you will mistake it because you won't see the fact that the blessing from God was that you woke up. The blessing from God is that you have clothes and amenities and access. Like sometimes we think that the way God moves, it needs to be massive and mighty, or it's not worth acknowledging. And so when the devil comes in with something massive and mighty, you will think that the Most High has just delivered an offer in your lap. And that is untrue. And so the spirit that you walk in, your temperament spiritually, is what sets you up to be able to welcome and discern the difference between an offer from the Most High and an offer from something that is not of the Most High. So Mordecai the bully is feeling grateful for this opportunity. Now, 6 of Cups. I have 6 of Cups in compromise. Now, this is the thing. 6 of Cups is about past people, past relationships. This is about nostalgia. In order to have nostalgia, you got to have a memory. You got to have something from the past that gave you a feeling that you can hang on to and it can transport you. And so the very thing that they say to this bully is, guess what? That 6 of Cups, it's somebody you know. The thing that we need you to do, we're collaborating with you because there's somebody close to you. Mordecai, we want Esther. We're only working with you because we want Esther. Now, remember when they souped Mordecai's head up, it was all about supporting them. Your time to shine, hit the reset, right? But then once you get into this thing, it's like, oh yeah, and by the way, it's your cousin we're going to want you to go against. Okay. And so now we have the energy of compromise. Now Mordecai's like, well, do I agree? Do I consider? Right. And so this is like splitting the line. This is like standing on one side, right? And this is the moment where Shango first enters the chat. The moment that there was some type of compromise where somebody felt pulled. Listen, if you feel split in your spirit, you've already made the decision. At the moment that you're like, God, I'm torn, you're done. You've already agreed to whatever. And so it is in that moment that somebody felt like they had listen, all it takes, just like you have a mustard seed of faith, You need a mustard seed of temptation. Like it doesn't take much to push us over the edge. And so in this moment, Mordecai the bully decides, you know what? I'm going to keep the vision. I know it's a 6 of Cups person. I know the button that I will have to push, or the thing that I will have to put my hands in or on, is going to connect to somebody that I've had history with. But Mordecai says, I'm keeping the vision. I'm going to continue to dream. I want these goals. I'm just going to trust the process. Whatever the future is, I'm just going to look into the future. Right. And so this is somebody that decides, I'm going to go through with it, but I'm going to do it with tunnel vision. This is somebody that didn't want to look left or right. They just wanted to focus on whatever it was that they agreed to. Now we get to the final part of the reading. So now we have soulmate and wealth. And so this tells me that, listen, Mordecai and Esther, biblically, they were always supposed to have a lifetime together where they were paired, because they had a purpose of the Most High to fulfill. Not everybody that we have a purpose to fulfill is going to be a true fan or supporter of who we are. And so some of our bullies are in position to fulfill a purpose for the Most High. Right. And so that's what I get about this version of Esther and Mordecai. There was somebody that was campaigned or summoned or offered something, and maybe they thought that it was their moment in life, but it was really about who they had proximity to, and it was you. And so, yes, it could have been a positive exchange, but it doesn't always have to be a positive exchange between you and another in order for a prophecy to be fulfilled. And so that's what I'm seeing. This bully is a soulmate. You are always going to have a soul experience. This specific soul tie is about wealth. It is about wealth, real wealth and real prosperity. And so Esther was stopping slaughter. The moment that this soulmate was supposed to come in your life is when you were on the precipice of really having wealth and prosperity. I'm talking about real wealth. And this is what I mean. This is like the moment where your paintbrush was about to get activated, and everybody knew it was going to get activated at a certain time in your life. And so they can't send somebody that's not even close. They got to send somebody close. And so this is somebody who may have bullied you, but maybe didn't present in your face as a bully. They presented as somebody who was a family, who they had always been. All the while, they had a whole agenda that they had agreed to. And it was really about getting your paintbrush. But in order to get your paintbrush, I got to distract you. I got to break your focus. I got to make sure you're not using it. Right? God gave it to you, and as long as you have it, as long as you're using it, you're displaying dominion. But when you put that shit down, or you can't, get your mind really honed in on whatever the skill or the task is, well, somebody else is getting to benefit off of the fact that your energy is now splintered and fractured. So it's harder to control what it is you possess when you are scattered. You're not grounded. This is about your focus. Y'all, when you focus, you grow things. These things lead to sudden wealth. Nobody robs an empty house. Nobody bullies you unless they see that you have something that's worth, like something has to soothe them. Something has to tempt them to, this is a job. This is a job that somebody was willing to take in order to move against you. But again, if there's a prophecy attached to you, there's a prophecy. When that paintbrush is in your hands, it is supposed to create a masterpiece. This is somebody who wants you to just draw stick figures. The Most High said you need to have a mural that every country will see. Right? Somebody feels some kind of way. They incarnate. They're coming against your wealth. They want your paintbrush so that when you pick up something to draw, you're drawing stick figures. But this was about a moment in time where the Most High was still going to fulfill his will. All right, so finally we get to the last part of the reading. This is like where they finally recognize that this victory, it was written. Like there was the victory that lived in their mind, but then there's the victory that was written. And what is written is what will stand, right? Like this is the moment where those that don't believe, those that don't have a relationship with God, like this is the moment where if they had a book about their life, it would be on this day that they write on that page, God is real. Okay, like this is where they realize they have to write God into their life. Okay, because this moment was written. So this is the victory. And so This soulmate was after your wealth. And it says that there had to be some type of ritual or a rite of passage, which is essentially a ceremony of magic. Okay? And this is supposed to put you in the Eight of Swords. So the person you're connected to, this is like you got to scramble Esther's mind so that she forgets all about this genocide that she's supposed to stop. You got to go mess with Esther's mind so she doesn't remember that she's supposed to free her people. You have to mess with her courage so that she doesn't become fearful when it's time to interrupt the king. I think that when you approach the king without being called upon, like death could have been the answer. But how did Esther have the courage on that day, at that time? How did she know to go against Haman? How did she know, how was she unafraid of the evil that was against her? Because she had her paintbrush in her hand, and the paintbrush was already written into her life and in her story. And so somebody wants to take your paintbrush so that you don't interrupt. But y'all, when it's written, it's written. And so somebody was close to you that agreed to bully you. But again, this is their docket. This is the story. This is what they took part in. And it was really about keeping you in a mental prison, one that didn't allow you to focus on what was in your hand, the power that you held within. And so we have psychological projections. We have rumors, verbal abuse, lies. This could have been the type of bullying that was assigned for you. Overall, it felt like massive judgment that would put you in the Eight of Swords, where you don't want to come out to play, right? Sometimes you don't feel good. You don't want to go out to play. Well, this is like you living in your body, but not wanting to come out and play with life. You are a prisoner inside yourself. That would have been the successful outcome of whatever was done against you. Okay? All right, y'all. I love you, and I hope this is beneficial. And this is the news about a possible bully. Okay, I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.